management process. Now, a project management process is a series of interrelated actions and activities with a common goal that are performed to achieve a pre-specified set of product, results, or services. Now, what it basically means is that, like I told you in the one of this training, that a project must have a start date and an end date. Now, in between that start date and end date, the series of activities that are going on to achieve the objective of that project is what is being regarded as what the project process. And now it is grouped into 5 processes that we are going to be talking about in the course of the project. Now, those 5 processes are the initiation, the planning, executing, monitoring and control, as well as closing. Now, the initiation is talking about trying to identify a need for a project, identify a problem and a need to embark on a project to solve that problem that you have identified. And also you create out now once you have been able to identify the problem in the initiation phase, you assess them and to know if the project is actually worth embarking on. So that's what the initiation phase is all about. Then after that, you move to the planning. Now you put series of activities together that will help you achieve your objective that you're able to draw out from the initiation phase. So they said you establish the scope, you define objectives and develop courses to action to attain those objectives that you have set out. Now, after you've been able to make a complete plan, the next thing is for you to start execution. You carry out the execution process. Now, all the things that you plan in your planning phase, you begin to start putting them into action via the execution phase. Now, after you've been able to, after the execution, the next thing there is monitoring and controlling. And the monitoring and controlling and the execution phase, they go together. Now, in the course of executing those plans you've made, there might be need for changes. There might be 1 or 2 errors. So those are the things that the monitoring look out for, and you try to control those things as the project continues. If there is anything you need to change, you make the changes and then you execute. If there is a mistake made in the course of the project, you correct that mistake and then you will execute. That's how you continue till you are able to meet up with every plan that you made, to meet up with the general objective as defined in the beginning of the project. Then after the monitoring and control, then you finalize the project and close it formally. Now this is the project initiation phase. Like I said, first of all, you identify the business problem and opportunity. Then you develop a business case. Developing a business case is all about gathering information about the project or problem you want to solve, and you try to see if the problem is worth solving, if the project is worth embarking on. You make all your assessment, you gather information to know if this business or project will actually benefit you and if it is worth embarking on. That's what the business case talks about. Then the next is the feasibility study. Now, since you have come up with a project that you will use, that you will carry out to solve this problem, or a project that you want to use to meet up, to take advantage of this opportunity, now you do a feasibility study. You assess that project, you to know if it will really give you the desired benefit that you wish to achieve from carrying out that project. So that's what the feasibility study talks about. Assessing your option of project that you want to use to know if it will really actually benefit you, if that option of project will actually give you the desired objective of solving that problem that you identified in the beginning. Once you are satisfied with the feasibility study, the next thing is you establish terms of references. You and your project sponsor will go through this business case feasibility study, and once you are satisfied, both of you will come to an agreement and then sign the project charter, and from there funds will be released for you to carry out the project. Then also you have to set up your project team, who are those that will be going to be assisting you in the course of the project. Also, you'll be setting up a project management office where all the administrative work of the project will be carried out as well. When you are done with all this, you perform a phase review. Go through everything again to ensure that it is the way you want it. If there are any new changes or new information that you can add to the business case, you add them, you assess them, and if they are satisfactory, then you close this phase and move to the next phase, which is the planning phase. Now, this is a business case. Like I said, it's a business case represents an optimum mix of information used to judge whether the project is and remains desirable and achievable, and therefore worthwhile investing in. You gather information, you assess them to know if that project is worth investing in. Now, how to develop a business case? The first thing there is for you to give a detailed definition of the problem or opportunity that you have identified, and the objective of embarking on a project to solve that problem, as well as the benefit you will tend to derive from carrying out that project. So these things should be well defined and known by you, the project manager, and the project sponsor as well. Then the next is you analyze your potential solution option. Now you've known the problem, you begin to bring up possible solutions, and now you assess and analyze each of those solutions that you bring it up to know which of them will bring out more benefits from that problem and from that project that you want to embark on, or from the problem that you want to solve. You bring out the best option to use to solve that problem. Understand? So let's say, for instance, you travel to a community and originally you found that this community does not have a river, and therefore they have challenges with fish. They don't have fish. Now the only way they get fish is to travel once in a week to a far away community where they buy fish and eat. Now, coming there, you've been able to identify that there is a problem in that community, which is they have access to fish, and also there is an opportunity for you to make profits or benefit from that problem. You understand? Now you come up with the best project to carry out that will bring out the best of the benefit from that opportunity that you have seen. Now you can say, okay, maybe you come from a community where that is a riverine area and there are lots of fishes, and fishes are very, very cheap. And you can decide to go to your community and be bringing fishes to this community to sell. Or you can decide to, okay, build a pond in the community, then you will breed fishes for sale. Now, these two options that you have to assess these two options. Which of them will benefit you the most? Understand? Then also you assess the cost. What is the cost of setting up a fish pond and breeding fishes, and the cost of having to transport fishes from your community to this community to sell. And you assess the two costs and you go for the one that is favorable to you. Also, you will assess the risk that are involved in this project that you want to carry on. If you say you want to start bringing fishes from your community, now there can be an accident can occur and you will run into a massive loss. What about bandits on the road and so many other issues that can occur in the process of transportation and all that, and even the process of transportation and all that. And also you identify you assess the other option, which is to construct a pond. Now you assess it. What are the risks if you should construct a pond and start breeding fishes? And you think of how you are going to be buying feeds. You buy fish, you feed all these fishes, and most of the time when you feed all these fishes, most of them at times do not come out the size that you desire. Some of them might die after you have involved in feeding them and the rest of them. So all these are risks that you have to consider before you choose an option on which project to embark on to solve that problem. Understand? So once a preferred solution is selected and agreed on, both you and the business sponsor will go to the business case, if it's and everything. And once the project sponsor is satisfied, then you will sign the required document, which is the project charter, and then funds will begin to be released for you to carry out the project. Now the next thing is the key philosophy, business case key philosophy. Is that a business case must drive the project, and you must make sure that your business case come out with a benefit that will be a motivation for you to carry out this project. And that is, there must be an objective that will help push you. Let the objective be an objective that will push you to carrying out this project. Then not they say no satisfactory business case, no project. Once you find out that your business case is not satisfactory enough, you are not optimistic that this business will meet up the desired benefit, or this project will give the desired objective, maybe as a result of the risk that you have assessed, you've gone through the risk and you've seen that the risks are very high. You understand? So there is tendency that this business might not come out the way you want it. Once you start having doubt over the business, the objective of that project, or not attaining the benefits of that project should not be embarked upon. Then also, it must be maintained throughout the project. The objective of that project must be big enough to make you maintain it all through the project period. Understand? There will be no reason for you to have divided focus. Let's say, for instance, in the course of the project, after you decide to go for the pond, making of a pond. Now, when you start going on with the project, you begin to think that the cost of making the pond is too much, and are thinking of going to the other option when you have already started this project and all that. When all those distractions start coming in and those pessimism start coming in, it will do what? It will hinder the objective of that project. So your focus and determination should be put into the project. Once you have developed a satisfactory business case, make sure you maintain the objective all through the course of the project. Then it says, should justification of business need disappear during the project, stop that project. Now, once there is no need for that project again, stop the project. Let's say, for instance, this fish business that you want to embark on, you now found out that, or maybe a news now broke out that, maybe during the course of the project, a news now broke out that this coronavirus that is so dreaded is carried by fishes. Now, people will be scared of eating fish. You understand? And at that point, people will not buy the fish that you want to rear, which means the need for that business has disappeared. So at that point, that business should be terminated immediately. Now, the next is that you perform a feasibility study. Now, the feasibility study, the purpose of the study is to assess the likelihood that the particular solution option will achieve the benefit outlined in this business case. Now, this project option that you have chosen to tackle this problem, will it actually give you the desired benefits? This is what the feasibility study is talking about. You have to assess if it will actually give you the desired benefit, if it will actually give you the desired objective of that project, of that problem that you want to solve. So you do one of the way to do the feasibility study is to carry out a forecast of cost. You understand? Forecast the cost that you'll be using to carry out this project and know if it is something that you can afford. Another reason to forecast the cost is that when you forecast the cost that you're using, the cost of the project, you can then compare it to the potential benefits that you are to make from this project and see if the benefit outweigh the cost, you understand, before you know if you have to embark on the project. Also, you should have to do some risk assessment to know if the risk associated with the business or project are acceptable or not. If the risks are not acceptable, it is advisable for you to terminate that project. But if you see that the risks are acceptable, you can then embark on the project. You also check out for likely issues. If the issues that will arise in the course of the project are issues that can be avoidable, or if they should come, can be tackled and resolved. So you do all this before you know if you have to proceed with the project. Now, after you've done that, the next thing you set up a project office. Now, this project office is going to be the base of the project team, and where every other equipment, tools, materials, and everything associated with the project are going to be kept as well. This project office can be visual or physical. The physical in the sense that you maybe build a temporary house where the project team and every other team will be kept. Or you can decide that you need to build a place. People will have a place where you meet every once in a while to discuss the project, or maybe you can even decide to do it online. Do your meetings online regarding the project. So this project office should contain every form of tool, material, equipment that will be used in the course of the project. Now, once all those things have been done, you've done all those, you come to your business case and the rest of them. Then once you've done all that, the next you do is you perform a phase review. This phase review is to check and to ensure that the project stage of phase has achieved its objective successfully. To check if maybe the objective be properly achieved, if the have been properly done and satisfactory, and this phase is good to go. Once I've done the review and I'm convinced that this phase is successful, what you do next is to move to the next phase, which is the project planning phase. And before you move to the next phase, there's what they call a project charter. A project charter. Now this project charter is like a document. It's a document between the project sponsor and the project manager. Understand? After all the business case, everything has been done, you and your project sponsor will assess everything that you have done. And if your sponsor is in terms with it, agree with everything that is in the business case, then what the next thing for you to do is for you to come to terms of reference, sign the chapter, give charter, which is a document between you and your project sponsor. Now the essence of this document is that should in case there's an issue among the items that are listed in the project charter, this project charter easily serves as a source of resolve or settlement to those issues. So we're going to be talking about the project charter in details. Now the first item there is the project name. Now the project name, your project, you must give your project a name. Your project must have a name. And then the next thing there is the project code. Now this project code should be a code that is familiar, or that only those that are related to the project can relate with or decode. You understand? Like if you see the WhatsApp group that I added you, I gave it a code. I opened it with a code. I use Osha HSE PNP HROM 02/20/WWRO. Now those that are related to this training can easily understand what that stands for, but those that are not related with the training might find it difficult to decode those things. Now for those related to the training, simply know that Osha stands for the name of my company, and then the HSC PMP are the courses we are offering. Why the 02 and the 20 are simply dates, and the WWRO is talking about Warri. The training is going on in Warri. So that's what the project code is. So give it something that just you and the project, those related to the project, can actually relate with. Then the next thing you have there is a start date and end date. Like I told you, every project must have a beginning and an end. So you stipulate the dates, the start date and the end date there. Then the next thing there is the sponsor. Now the sponsor is the financer of the project. You put the name there, you are the project manager, you put your name there. Then the support is talking about if there is a form of an assistant to the project manager. If you are not there, who should they report to? So if there is anybody like that, we equally put the name of the person. Then the project team is talking about those people with the expertise to help you achieve the objective of that project. Now, like I told you, the project manager are not the one to do the construction work, to start building the house and doing all that. What you are doing is you are managing the time, the scope, the budget, as well as the risk and the resources of that project. So your project is going to be made up of those that will do the actual work, those with the experience and expertise to do the actual work. Like for instance, if you want to build a house, you will have a contractor who is going to be doing the laying of blocks and raising of the building. You also have the electrician who will do the electrical work. You have the plumber, the carpenter, and all those. So all those people are going to be the people that will make up your team. Now one thing this team member does for you is that they help to be able to know how much the project is going to entail, to understand. Now the guy doing the construction, which is the building work, building and raising of the blocks, will tell you how much it takes to buy cement, how much to pay their laborers, and how much to do everything. And the electrician will tell you how much it takes to buy the wire, how much it takes to wire the house. So by the time you put all their expenses or the amount they are going to be needed to carry out their different aspects together, you'll be able to tell how much is needed for that project. You understand? And also not only does for you that, it helps you to know if the project date is realistic. Now, for instance, if your project sponsor has said he wants to build a house in 6 months, now from your project team, you'll be able to tell if that 6 months is realistic. Now, the man doing the construction work will tell you to raise the house to the roofing level is going to take 3 months. Then maybe the electrician will tell you to wire the house will take 1 month. The plumber will tell you how long it will take. The carpenter will tell you how long it will take for him to also carry out his work. So by the time you put the different dates together, you'll be able to tell if the date set by the sponsor is achievable. Understand? So that is what your team member does for you. It should comprise of those with the experience and expertise for the various aspects of the project. Then the next thing there is talking about the goals and the objectives of the project. Now a project can have more than one objective. Understand? Depending on the sponsor and the scope of that project. Now for instance, if you want to put a street light in a particular street or a road, the objective of putting that street light could be that, okay, to beautify that road could be your first objective, objective A, to beautify the road. Now your objective B could be for security reasons. Maybe as a result of how that place is, people will take advantage to rob people and snatch bags and all that. So when you put that light now, you're going to take care of that security challenge. So objective B could be for security purpose. Then objective C could be for maybe as a result of how busy that place is and the darkness, there is a tendency for accident, for vehicle to hit people and hit each other. So you want to put that light to eliminate that darkness leading to those accidents. So those could be your objective, different objective in carrying out that project of putting a street light. Understand? So that's what the objective is talking about. The objective can be as many as possible depending on the sponsor and the scope of the project. Then at the other side you see the scope. Now you are going to be defining the scope to achieving every of those objectives. Like we told you before, the scope is the questions you need to ask to meet up with the specification of the sponsor or the objective of the sponsor. So I'm going to be asking the various questions to meet up that objective. For instance, objective A is for beautification. If at the end of that project the street light will scatter them around the road, the beauty will not be there. So I'm going to be defining how the arrangement of the street light is going to look like to bring out the beauty. You understand? Also, because for beautification, you can say, okay, instead of using those normal red lights, you should use a halogen bulb to bring out the beauty. So you define everything that is going to take for that project to meet up with the first objective, which is beautification. Then the second objective, which is security reasons, you understand? To eliminate security challenges. You're also going to be defining how the project is going to take shape, the scope involved in meeting up that particular objective. If at the end of that project, the light, some part will on, some part will not on, it means that security aspect of the project has been defeated. So you have to make sure you put this in place for the light to always be on. So you define the scopes to meet up that objective, which is the security. Then also you do that for the objective C as well. Then the next thing there is the approach. Now the project approach is talking about the various steps you are going to take to meet up or to accomplish this project. For instance, I'm going to say, okay, the approach to bringing the resources for this project will be maybe you, the project manager, going to the market to get the materials for the project. Or you can say, okay, the approach is that the materials for that project are going to be contracted to a supplier. So somebody will have to be supplying those items or materials for the project. So that can be an approach for that. You can also say communication approach. If there is an issue, how should the workers relate it? Should it be that they should come to you, the project manager, or they should write to the project management office, or they go straight to the project sponsor? You are going to be defining how the communication approach is going to look like, as well as other approaches they are going to be using in the course of the project. So the item here is the milestone. Now this milestone, what it is talking about is the milestone. Now this milestone, what it is talking about is that what you are going to be delivering and the time frame you will be delivering them. Understand? Let's take for instance in a house building project. Your first milestone could be to deliver on the foundation of that house to the DPC level. You understand? Now, how long is it going to take for you to deliver on the foundation of that house? Is what the milestone is talking about. Now, let's say, for instance, to deliver that first milestone A, which is the foundation of the house, is going to take 1 week. You state it there. Milestone A is going to take what? 1 week. Now, one thing that is peculiar to this milestone is that you don't just write it down 1 week. You have to state when this 1 week will start and when the 1 week will end. For instance, you can say to deliver the foundation of that house to DPC level is going to take 1st of June to what? 7th of June, which is the 1 week. So you have to state when the 1 week will be starting and when it will be ending. Now, the next milestone, which is milestone B, could then be raising of the blocks of the house to the roofing level. You understand? Also, you state how long it's going to take for you to raise the blocks of that house to the roofing level. Let's assume it's also going to take 1 week. You write when your 1 week will start and when the 1 week will end. You can say, okay, that 1 week is going to be from 10th of June to what? 17th of June. You understand? So that's your second milestone, starting 10th of June to 17th of June. Then the third milestone could then be the roofing of the house. How long is it going to take for you to roof that house? You understand? So you also state it there. Let's assume the roofing of the house is going to take 1 week as well. You equally state it. Maybe the 1 week will start from 20th of June to 27th of what? June. So that's what the milestone is talking about. How long is going to take you to deliver on every aspect or phase of that project. So that's what the milestone is talking about. So on the right hand side, you see what dependencies and related project. Now, what the dependency and related project is talking about is to make you understand if the projects, the milestones, I mean to say, are dependent on each other. For instance, now we say our milestone A is the foundation of the house, while milestone B is to raise the blocks of the house. Now, is milestone B dependent on milestone A? Is milestone B dependent on milestone A? Milestone B is dependent on milestone A because for you to be able to raise the blocks of the house, first you have to do the foundation of that house. You can't raise the block of that house when the foundation is not complete. So that shows that milestone B is dependent on what? Milestone A. Equally, milestone C is dependent on milestone B because there's no way you're going to be roofing that house when you've not raised the blocks of that house. You understand? So that's what the dependency is talking about, trying to show if the milestones are dependent on each other. There are also cases where the milestones may not be dependent. You understand? Now, take for instance, your milestone A is the foundation of the house. Then your milestone B is to fence the compound. You understand? Now, milestone A, which is the foundation, can be ongoing, while at the same time, milestone B, which is the fencing of the compound, can equally be ongoing at the same time. You understand? So that shows that milestone B, which is the fencing of the compound, is not dependent on milestone A, which is the foundation of the building. So that's what the dependency and related project is talking about. Then the next here is the deliverables. Now, what the deliverable is talking about is at each of those milestones, what are you going to deliver? You understand? What are you going to be deliver? Now, your first milestone is you put 1 week, 1st of June to 7th of June. So what are you delivering in that 1 week? That's what the deliverable is talking about. So like we said, what we'll be delivering is what? The foundation of the house to the what? The DPC level. Now, milestone B, we equally said 1 week, which is 10th of June to 17th of June. So what are you going to be delivering in that 10th of June to 17th of June in your milestone B? Is what the deliverable B is talking about. We said we are going to be raising the blocks of the building toward the roofing level. Then equally you go for your deliverable C. What will be the milestone of your third milestone, which is the C? How long is going to take? Then your deliverable C is what you'll be delivering in that milestone. That's what the deliverable is talking about. Then the next thing there is at the right hand side is the completion criteria. Now, what this completion criteria is talking about is that at the end of each deliverable, what are the standards to show that it has met, it has been completed? Understand? It has been completed as you said. Understand? Now, we said our deliverable A is to dig the foundation of the house to what the DPC level. So, what the sponsor or the supervisor of that project wants to see at the end of that your first milestone is that the foundation of the house is what has gotten toward the DPC level. You said your milestone A is 1 week, you understand, and you'll be delivering the foundation of the house to the DPC level. So what the supervisor want to see when he comes after that 1 week is that the foundation has been done to the DPC level. You understand? If he comes and in that 1 week and find out that you've not gotten to that DPC level, it means you are going to receive some query. You understand? So that's what the completion criteria is talking about. Then maybe deliverable B now is that we said we'll raise the blocks of the house to the roofing level. So the completion criteria for that milestone, which is 1 week, is that when we come, what will be when the supervisor comes, what will be seen is that the blocks has been raised to what the roofing level. So that's what the completion criteria is talking about. You understand? When the supervisor comes, he wants to see that the milestone that you gave and what you agreed to deliver are at exactly what you have delivered. So the next thing is the assumption. Now, all these milestones and deliverables that you are giving, understand, you are giving all these things based on the assumption that everything will be equal. There will be no sort of hiccup, you understand. Now, one of the things you could be assuming is that you are assuming that in the course of this 1 week, that you'll be delivering the foundation of the house or delivering the block raising of the blocks to the roofing level. And one of the things you are assuming is that the materials to carry out each of these milestones and each of these deliverable is what going to be made available as at the set time. You understand? Now let's assume that your first milestone is what 1 week. You understand? Now in that 1 week, 3 days out of the 1 week, let's assume materials were not made available for you to work with. There were no materials available for you to work with for like about, let's say, 2-3 days. The materials did not arrive. You understand? And you've already given 1 week as your milestone. It means you are already running short of time. 3 days are already gone and you've not started. And the milestone is that in 7 days, you are going to complete that particular deliverable. The completion criteria is that you will be given the foundation to the DPC level. And now, because the materials has not arrived, you have not even started and 3 days is gone. You understand? So one of the things you are assuming is that the materials, you could be assuming is that the materials for that milestone or for that milestone will be made available. You understand? The another thing you could be assuming is fair weather. Understand? You are assuming that in the course of carrying out each of these milestones or carrying out each of these deliverable that the weather will be fair. Now let's assume this project you are embarking on fell on this rainy season period, and now there was a heavy downpour of like 2-3 days out of the 1 week that you have given, out of the 7 days that you have given as your milestone. It means you are also already running short of time. You understand? Another thing you could be assuming now could be that you expect everybody to be in good health. Everybody that is related to delivering on that particular milestone should be in good health. You understand? Let's assume, for instance, the person who is supposed to take charge of the foundation now fell ill, critically ill for about 2-3 days and could not come to work, and meaning the milestone, people could not continue with the project. Already 2-3 days is out of the 7 days that you give, and that already is an issue. So this assumption, you will try to foresee all the possible things, understand, and list out all the assumptions in this role. Then the next thing is the risk and issue. Like I told you, as a project manager, you should be able to do what? foresee risk and issues that may arise in the course of your project. You understand? You try to foresee those risks, the likely risk, and then list them down. You understand? You list them down as well. So when you have done this, both you and the project sponsor will go through the project charter, and if it is satisfactory, the sponsor will sign, put the date. You also will sign. The project manager will sign. Then you put the date. You understand? Then this bring an end to what the initiation phase of the project. You do your phase review from the beginning down from your business case to setting up a project office and all that. You review the project charter, and if everything is okay, understand, you close this phase and then move to the next phase, which is the planning phase. So that's all for this project charter. Thank you very much.